But just on that point, Alak, as a citizen then, is it a cacophony or is it choice? In that you have now so much of media
Yeah.
to choose from, to select from, to digest, to understand, to contextualize. Is it any easier now to understand the world around us? Or are we spoiled for choice?
I mean, this is a hopelessly mixed up, topsy-turvy world.
Yeah.
I mean, the ancient Chinese curse, Sanjana, you know, may you live in interesting times.
Yeah.
And I think we are all in that cursed time.
Yeah.
And I, for one, I take delight in being alive at a time when so much new is happening, so much is happening so fast in the world of media, in the world of communication, in the flow of ideas and opinions. And in a sense, the cacophony is a good thing. We've been brought up, at least I think mine is the last generation, to be brought up to believe that the symphony, you know, everybody in harmony and nobody upsetting the apple cart is a good thing. I think those ideas have to go. The cacophony is there whether we like it or not. A million conversations.
Oh, absolutely. But I was surprised when I have been having conversations with youth activists, bloggers, writers, very interested in writing and thinking about the times that we live in. Their concern seems to be that cacophony and concern that they might not be heard amongst even the 300 blogs that are aggregated on kottu.org. And it is a fear that I think the mainstream media is also raking up, suggesting to them that unless you have a print run of, let's say, 100,000 or whatever, that you're not an author or a journalist of any merit. Now, this is actually stifling some voices. I know from first-hand experience. What would your response be to those who are fearful of writing using new media because they might not have the impact as, say, a traditional journalist would have had?
Well, I've been on both sides of this divide, you know, been published in the mainstream media, being on radio and television, and have moved on to new media. In fact, I would say I have a foot in both graves still. I think both media, both types of media, the so-called mainstream and the so-called new media, have their uses, have their place. And when we have something new to say, and we know how to say it interestingly, provocatively maybe, I think slowly we will build a following. And our readers would start building. I mean, when I started blogging 2 years ago, my initial visit numbers were in the 2 digits, you know, a few dozen, and now it's gone to a few hundred a day. But that's it, that's it. But I'm having conversations, I'm having people agreeing, disagreeing, sometimes agreeing to disagree, and all that is fine.
And that's progressive. Do you wonder then, Nalaka, whether you've written extensively about this, which is why I'm asking, in terms of media development, whether we should be focusing a bit more on media literacy as well, to include web literacy as well?
Absolutely. I think the traditional schools, the media schools, the journalism schools in this country are still very much in that classic mode of preparing students to find employment, 9-to-5 employment in newspapers, radio or television. And they acknowledge, I think, now that new media exists.
Slowly.
But very slowly.
A peripheral interest.
Perhaps a bit grudgingly. But they still, the schools, as far as I know, don't prepare the students. They teach students how to use the web as an information research medium, but not so much to publish, to engage in their craft through the new medium. And that's a conceptual hurdle that our media practitioners and media schools in particular have yet to clear.
Is it also linked to the anxiety, the fear of actually going ahead and using new media? For example, nearly 1 year ago, the government banned SMSs and I think blocked all mobile communications on National Day because they were fearful it would be used by terrorists for various terrorist activities. We know that in the north and the east, when there's been military offensives, mobile phone communications have been blocked. We know that last year there was the reported case of somebody being arrested by the police for distributing an SMS that was seen to be detrimental to national security. We have an IGP who has said, on the other hand, that the mobile phone can be a useful tool in solving cases of rape. We do not quite know what he meant, but there seems to be a confusion in government as to how to approach and encourage the growth of new media for development, for social progress, for empowerment. They see it as a tool that it can be used by terrorists, but I have found that they don't see it as a tool for empowerment and development. The rhetoric seems to be a mismatch with actually policies and practices of government. How have you addressed this issue?
Yeah, I think it's not just the web. When we look at new media, we have to acknowledge the enormous growth and proliferation of mobiles.
Exactly.
And other digital tools, including the ready availability of still cameras, video cameras. There are people capturing, bearing witness to what is happening around them in their communities, in their society. And this can be intimidating to those who want to control that free flow of information and exchange of ideas and images. So in a sense, what has been accomplished so far, I think, has been accomplished by the few who took chances and got their hands dirty and pushed the limits. It was never awarded, it was never given or granted. Where the web is concerned, the current number of bloggers and the alternative ideas, the discussions that are unfolding have not happened overnight, have not just happened spontaneously. There have been people who doggedly pursued this over the years.